welcome back to the Wrestling Rundown, episode 106, Indie News. We're getting right into it because we have a ton of results to talk about. And specifically, we have 5 Shimmer shows that we got to talk about. So Kevin Hawk, let us know what happened at Shimmer.
I just realized this whole results is going to be 75% nothing but ladies.
Yes.
Because also, Ring of Honor on Sunday was Women of Honor.
Yes it was.
So we're going to go all the way back to Friday, though. That was the 24th, where in Chicago, Illinois, at the Logan Square Auditorium, we had Shimmer 81.
Indeed.
We had Veda Scott defeat Nixon Noel. Shayna Baszler defeated Rhea O'Reilly. Kelly Skater would defeat LuFisto, Shazza McKenzie, and Vanessa Craven in a 4-way match.
All right.
Viper defeated Jessica Havoc. Kaylee Ray and Mia Yim, which are also known as Team Fly High, defeated Melanie Cruz and Yumi Oka. Arisa Nakajima, the one name that I had to write down over and over again in full, she defeated Nicole Matthews. Ryo Mizunami defeated Casey Spinelli. For the Heart of Shimmer Championship, Nicole Savoy successfully defended against Crazy Mary Dobson. The Kimber Bombs successfully defended the Shimmer Tag Team Championships against Team Slap Happy. That's Evie and Heidi Lovelace. And in the main event, for the Shimmer Championship, Madison Eagles successfully defended against Courtney Rush, a.k.a. Rosemary in TNA.
Oh.
Then the next day, Saturday, the 25th, also from the Logan Square Auditorium in Chicago, Illinois, we had Shimmer 82. We opened with LuFisto defeating Vanessa Craven. We had Shayna Baszler defeat Solo Darling. Viper defeated Heidi Lovelace. Casey Spinelli and Xander Bale, a.k.a. Bale Spin, defeated Samantha Heights and Mary Dobson in tag team match. Shazza McKenzie defeated Evie. Nicole Matthews defeated Nixon Noel. Tessa Blanchard defeated Thunder Kitty. Kelly Skater defeated Courtney Rush. Nicole Savoy successfully defended the Heart of Shimmer Championship against Ryo Mizunami. The Kimber Bombs successfully defeated the Team Fly High, Kaylee Ray and Mia Yim, to retain the Shimmer Tag Team Championships. And Madison Eagles defeated Arisa Nakajima to retain the Shimmer Championship.
All right.
Same day, Shimmer 83.
Moving right along.
Yes. Veda Scott would defeat Mary Dobson in the opener. Heidi Lovelace defeated Taylor Made. Nicole Matthews defeated Shazza McKenzie. Jessica Havoc would defeat Allison Kay, Mia Yim, and Yumi Oka in a 4 corners match. Tessa Blanchard defeated Evie. Nicole Savoy defeated Shayna Baszler to retain the Heart of Shimmer Championship, which I believe that's Shayna Baszler's first Shimmer loss.
Oh, wow.
The Kimber Bombs would defeat Bale Spin, Xander Bale and Casey Spinelli, to retain the Shimmer Tag Team Championships. Kelly Skater defeated Ryo Mizunami, and then to successfully retain the Shimmer Championship, Madison Eagles would defeat Viper.
Wow.
And then we're going to take a quick breather away from Shimmer on Sunday because we had Beyond Wrestling presenting Ripped Off in the Prime of Life from Somerville, Massachusetts.
Yes.
We opened with a cage match, 3 5-minute rounds, knockout or submission only. Matt Riddle versus Chuck O'Neal, both MMA fighters, transitioned into pro wrestlers. Matt Riddle won in the 3rd round via armbar submission.
Wow.
We had David Cole defeat Anthony Stone, Brian Fury defeating Sugar D. We had a 8-man tag match in which the Crusade for Change defeated Team House of Glory.
Oh, wow.
Still a little cross-promotion going on between both companies there. We had John Silver defeat Keith Lee. Tommaso Ciampa defeated David Starr in what was said to be classic match of the night, perhaps.
Nice.
After the match, however, Matt Riddle, who was doing commentary, started calling out Ciampa from the commentary booth, saying that Tommaso didn't take the match seriously, worked in too many comedy spots, and doesn't belong in Beyond Wrestling. And then Tommaso basically said, you want to come at me? We can go wrestling rules, we can go MMA rules, whatever you want to do. Just name the time and place.
Wow.
So it looks like we're going to get Ciampa and Riddle coming up. And that was one of the things is that Ciampa said going into this is that he doesn't have many independent dates left.
True. Yeah, he's officially signed to WWE. So,
in the WWR Showcase match, we had Jordan Grace defeat Taylor Hendricks. We had a 6-man tag. Scarlett and Graves defeated Team Pazuzu. Jonathan Gresham defeated Zack Sabre Jr. And in the main event, Death by Elbow, JT Dunn and Chris Hero defeated Chris Dickinson and Donovan Dijak.
Dirty Daddy and Banana Hands.
Yes. Best. If anybody remembers the Banana Hands reference and who said it, comment below.
Yes, please.
I remember. Do you remember?
No, I do not.
I'll tell you after we get on.
I just like calling Donovan Dijak Banana Hands because it's funny.
But then we go back to Shimmer's.
Back to the ladies.
A little
I don't know
Hispanic Chihuahua voice.
I don't know what it was.
But back to their normal stomping grounds, the Eagles Lodge in Berwyn, Illinois, where we start with Nixon Noel defeating Veda Scott. The team of Yumi Oka and Melanie Cruz, they would defeat the team of Solo Darling and Scarlett Bordeaux. Arisa Nakajima defeated Rhea O'Reilly. Nicole Matthews defeated Thunder Kitty. Tessa Blanchard defeated LuFisto. Ryo Mizunami defeated Courtney Rush. Nicole Savoy successfully defends the Heart of Shimmer Championship against Jessica Havoc. Evie and Heidi Lovelace, aka Team Slap Happy, would win a 4 corners tag team match against Team Fly High, Bale Spin, and the Kimber Bombs to become the new Shimmer Tag Team Champions.
All right, good job, ladies.
And then in the main event, we had Kelly Skater challenging Madison Eagles for the Shimmer Championship. Kelly Skater would win over Madison Eagles, but via countout, so the title wouldn't change hands. After the match, Madison Eagles gets on the mic and says, "That was a good match, but I don't want the championship match to end on a countout. But, we can't change history, so we're just going to make history and have a rematch at 85 for the championship again."
All right.
So, being a good defending fighting champion.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then we'll open up Shimmer 85,
Ta-da!
which was recorded just like an hour later, where LuFisto would defeat Amanda Rodriguez, Nicole Matthews defeats Rhea O'Reilly, Allison Kay would defeat Sandra Bale, Arisa Nakajima defeated Shazza McKenzie, not Princess Kimberly, just Kimberly, anywhere else other than Chikara. She defeated Thunder Kitty. Shayna Baszler defeated Mia Yim. Courtney Rush defeated Nixon Noel, Vanessa Craven, and Viper in a 4-way match. Nicole Savoy successfully defends the Heart of Shimmer Championship against Kaylee Ray. Team Slap Happy would successfully defend the Shimmer Tag Team Championships against Yumi Oka and Melanie Cruz. And in the main event, we had Madison Eagles get ready to face Kelly Skater. Kelly Skater would fail to make her way to the ring on 2 different introductions. This prompted Tessa Blanchard to come out with Vanessa Craven saying that, "Hey, Kelly Skater's backstage unconscious. And so I'm going to take her place." And Tessa gets in the ring. They start the match. Madison Eagles beats her in what is the fastest Shimmer Championship match of all time. And then Nicole Savoy and Shayna Baszler both come out and start attacking Madison Eagles.
Okay.
And after they leave her laying in the ring, we get a surprise return from somebody who's been with Shimmer from the very, very beginning. Mercedes Martinez makes a return and gets a championship match against Madison Eagles, who's already been beat up, and wins the Shimmer Championship. And it seems like now that she has formed a unit of some sort with Nicole Savoy and Shayna Baszler.
And potentially...
And maybe Tessa Blanchard and Vanessa Craven, but I don't know.
So we had apparently someone in management because she got herself a title shot.
Yeah, because she just walked in and took the belt.
Even though Madison Eagles already defended against Tessa Blanchard?
Yeah. So out of the whole weekend, 5 shows, Nicole Savoy, the only person to successfully defend the championship all 5 shows.
Yeah, Kimber Bombs and Madison Eagles losing their titles.
Yeah. Congratulations to Evie and Heidi Lovelace for becoming the new Shimmer Tag. And congratulations, I guess, to Mercedes Martinez for winning the Shimmer Championship.
Yay.
And I say that in all seriousness because Mercedes Martinez could kick my ass.
I think most of these ladies can kick both of our asses.
It's just like, Mercedes Martinez is one of the girls, though, that you look at her and you know, like, legit bad bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a few of her Shimmer matches. She's not one to fuck with.
No. Mercedes Martinez ain't nothing to fuck with.
Yeah. All right, so.
Hey, why don't you take over?
Yeah.
Because I know I just did 6 shows, but you've got 2.
I've only got 2.
For Ring of Honor.
Yes. All right, so going back to Friday the 24th for Best in the World. This was in Concord, North Carolina, live on pay-per-view. I hope you watched it because it was good. So we're going to talk about it. We opened up with Kyle O'Reilly defeating Kamaitachi. This is my first time seeing Kamaitachi actually wrestle. He was a good matchup for Kyle O'Reilly, a good solid wrestling opponent. He's up and coming, so he's got plenty of time to learn stuff. So
we've already mentioned him in, I believe, Beyond Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla shows.
Yeah. So I mean, he's getting booked in different places. Very solid wrestler. They end up having just this big forearm battle. O'Reilly ends up hitting a brainbuster. Kamaitachi actually kicks out of the brainbuster, but with the arm that's up in the air, Kyle O'Reilly immediately switches to the arm bar and gets Kamaitachi to tap out. And Kyle O'Reilly, who tried to do the Code of Honor at the beginning of the match, tries to do it again, and Kamaitachi spits in his hand and walks away. So,
gross and rude.
Kamaitachi's a little bit of a douchebag.
What's Japanese for douchebag? Kamaitachi.
Kamaitachi is Japanese for douchebag. ACH defeated Silas Young after avoiding the springboard moonsault, hitting a brainbuster and the Midnight Star for the win. So, proving that you can be a man and love anime at the same time.
I'm going to be honest, though. Out of all the things, I have to give props to Silas Young for being not a small dude.
No.
And using a springboard moonsault.
Yeah, no, and he hits it. It's amazing how fluid he hits it, too. Because I've seen it actually connect, and I would not want to be on the receiving end. So ACH was lucky to get the hell out of the way.
Yeah, it's big and hairy.
Yeah. Yes, he's a real man. We actually see that Jay White from New Japan Pro Wrestling, up-and-comer from over there, is in the crowd, and he'll actually be getting his debut in ROH with the TV tapings that happen on Saturday. So in the coming weeks on ROH TV, look forward to the debut of Jay White.
Yeah, part of the cool talent negotiations that go on between New Japan and Ring of Honor all the time.
Yeah, usually being seen teaming with David Finlay and Juice Robinson over in New Japan. Then we had Mark Briscoe defeat Roderick Strong after 2 Fisherman Busters. These two were pretty much just out to prove which one was better. Both of them, along with Jay Briscoe, the longest running guys in ROH. So just it was a proving ground match. They were just trying to show who had advanced the most since their beginnings in ROH.
Yeah, basically, I mean, without saying who's the champion is the number 1 guy,
yeah.
They were trying to prove who is the number 1 of the Ring of Honor veterans.
Yeah. And Mark Briscoe shaving his head, looking like his brother again, except for the missing front teeth.
It's a little throwback to the way that they used to actually match all the time.
Yeah, and they actually mentioned that in commentary, saying that maybe that was Mark Briscoe trying to go back to his roots to really prove be his original self to face Roderick Strong in this.
And it paid off because he won.
Yeah. A funny little bit at the beginning, he came out with a headband or a bandana and had a wig that Roddy ended up pulling off, and it threw Roddy off. So it gave Mark Briscoe kind of an early advantage in the match. And then in the 6-man I didn't even realize this until the match started. It was Tornado Rules. So Bullet Club and War Machine in a 6-man Tornado. Yeah. War Machine.
Yeah.
War Machine and Moose. 6-man tornado tag. Just complete chaos from beginning to end in this match. It was just a complete and utter insanity. The Young Bucks and Adam Cole end up picking a win, which is impressive because both of the Young Bucks coming back from injury and Adam Cole just coming back from having pneumonia.
Yeah.
And they still killed it.
Stokely Hathaway getting a triple super kick for his troubles.
Yeah, Hanson got a super kick from the Young Bucks out of a moonsault. Moose ended up going headfirst into the barricade at one point. And
they fought all over the place.
Yeah, no, it was insane. Double suplex from the Bucks to Hanson on the stage. And eventually Moose ends up getting beat with the Meltzer driver by, I think it was the Young Bucks holding him, hit the Meltzer driver. They let Adam Cole get the pin as they kiss him on the cheeks because that's their photo op for their bit in the Bullet Club.
Yeah, no, it's an extra impressive win because the smallest guy between Rowe, Hanson, and Moose is bigger than the biggest guy between the Young Bucks and Adam Cole.
That's actually one thing I meant to mention. This is literally like the biggest team you could put together versus almost the smallest team you could put together in Ring of Honor. So
one of the smallest groups of 3 you could put together in Ring of Honor without using Cheeseburger.
Yes. Or Roderick Strong, because he's even shorter than...
he's short.
He's super short.
Roderick Strong, Liger, and Cheeseburger might be the smallest trio that they could...
during the match, Matt Taven was at commentary. He brought down beer and was drinking. And he was like having his own little party over there, and he was being an asshole and was just talking a lot of trash about the Bucks and Adam Cole, saying
he's still a little butthurt over the Kingdom.
Yeah, he said he feels bad for the Young Bucks because now they have to carry Adam Cole like him and Mike Bennett had to do last year at Best in the World.
Yeah, drove Mike Bennett to TNA.
Yeah,
you know it's got to be bad if
he actually called him the Miracle at one point.
Yeah, you know it's got to be bad if you're going to TNA to get away from something.
Oh, God. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Then we had our first title match as the Addiction defended the tag team titles against the Motor City Machine Guns. Once again, eat your heart out, TNA, because, I mean, this was a tag team match that you could have had many times.
Well, I'm pretty sure they did have it.
Yeah,
plenty of times.
Probably.
The big thing being the chemistry between these two teams is always on point.
It's flawless.
But the match just isn't quite as fast as it was 5 years ago.
No, because Daniels has been wrestling for 25 years now. Kazarian's right behind him. Saban's had some major injuries. I think Shelley was probably the fastest out of the 4.
Yeah. I mean, cause what were they called in TNA? Daniels and Kazarian.
Bad Influence.
Bad Influence. Yeah, I know they had matches back and forth in TNA, but that was a while ago.
Yeah.
It's been a while since any of these guys were considered TNA guys.
Yeah, Saban was the last one.
Yeah. It's basically, I guess you could call it classic X Division.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, yeah.
Because there were 4 guys who helped propel the X Division during its, the biggest pinnacle of its popularity. 4
of the most prominent, other than like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, these are 4 of the most prominent X Division champions of all time.
Yeah.
It wasn't as fast as they could have been 5 years ago, but it was still a fantastic match. A very interesting ending, though, as we had Kamaitachi actually come out and attack Jay White at ringside.
Yeah.
They would actually brawl in the ring, and then they'd start to roll out, and Todd Sinclair is actually distracted by this brawl, trying to get them broken up. This allows Daniels to hit a low blow on Shelley. Shelley gets taken out. It's then a 2-on-1 on Saban. Saban ends up getting hit with the best Meltzer ever, which is a best moonsault ever into a assisted pile driver. And
the Meltzer's like the springboard. Just use springboard tombstone.
Yeah.
And so they just
sometimes they do the 450 like.
They just turned that into using Daniels' best moonsault ever.
Yes.
Which was a unique way to implement a move that Daniels has been doing forever and ever and ever.
and it still looks awesome. The Addiction retained the ROH Tag Team titles, and it seems that Kamaitachi was actually in cahoots with the Addiction, as they all raised each other's hands at the top of the stage. Jay White was helping check on Sabin and Shelley, so we do have a potential rematch for the tag team titles, but also a potential 6-man tag team match coming up soon. And with Jay White getting ready to make his debut, we might see that in the next couple weeks on ROH TV. Then we had the match that people have been waiting for a very long time, especially Kevin Hawk.
Yes.
Knowing the history between these two, we knew it would be bloody, we knew it would be violent. We got the unsanctioned Fight Without Honor, King Carino taking on BJ Whitmer.
Kevin Kelly even called it the ultimate Fight Without Honor.
Yes. Because, I mean, any fight, the last couple fight Without Honors we've had, yeah, there's been a lot of build-up, there's been a lot of story, there's been a lot of tension. But this is like years of tension.
Yeah, and completely unsanctioned by Ring of Honor management.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas both men had to sign hold harmless contracts with Ring of Honor.
I liked what they did. They shut all the lights off, and they said, you know.
And Nigel even left ringside.
Yeah. They brought in the guy who usually does Women of Honor commentary to be with Kevin Kelly. Nigel had nothing to do with it. There were doctors at ringside. That was like the closest thing that they got to as far as like helping these guys. But BJ and Carino, you know, they didn't hold Ring of Honor responsible for any injury, any property damage, anything that happened. It was totally on them.
Yeah.
And they beat the hell out of each other. Well, first we had Carino looking as Steve Carino as he possibly could, bleaching his hair again, full white attire, looking trim AF. He's looking good. He was ready for a fucking fight.
Absolutely.
He had war paint on. He was ready.
And him and BJ just took it out because BJ didn't even make it to the ring.
Yeah, no, they met halfway down the ramp.
Yeah, before Carino charged him in the entryway. And
yeah.
They went hard and heavy. What I really liked, they did a special entrance for Carino where they had a handful of like staff people with chairs.
Yeah, they all were holding chairs, and as he walked by, they put him down.
Yeah, and so when Carino got up onto the apron for his entrance, and they threw the streamers in, all the fans threw the streamers in. Those guys threw the chairs into the ring at the same time.
Yeah, the chairs were already in there, and oh man, it was brutal. It was bloody. Carino getting busted open hard way. BJ actually just punching him straight in the forehead.
Like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, and busted him wide open.
Took a freaking exploder suplex through a table.
Yeah.
First time didn't work.
Yeah,
second time was a charm.
Yeah, the table was a little bit difficult to break. He slid off the first one, but then just shattered.
Secret revealed here: the shorter the table length, the harder they are to break.
Yeah.
Because just the more structurally sound they are. And he had one of the short. I want to say it was a 6-foot table, and he had it propped up against the top rope, which basically almost makes the 6-foot table completely vertical.
Yeah, and it doesn't allow for much give in the table.
Yeah. So then BJ smartly moved the table so it was leaning against the middle turnbuckle.
Yeah.
And that gave enough leverage that Carino could come down from over top of BJ's head.
Yeah. BJ even picking up a piece and breaking it over Carino's head. Carino actually grabbed one of the beer bottles that Matt Taven left at ringside and bashed BJ in the head and then carved him up, and then BJ's bleeding all over the place. They both wore white attire, so it just made it look even more like a massacre.
Yeah, I like that Carino had a sock full of quarters.
Yeah,
he had like he had like a Ziploc baggie full of quarters, and he dumped it into it. He pulled his boot off, and then he had 2 socks on his foot.
Yeah.
So he pulled the outside sock off and poured quarters into it, and he went to swing it at BJ, and BJ was ready with his own fist loaded with a roll of quarters, and smacked Carino in the face.
Yeah, a little call.
Which I think only kept Carino down for a 1 count.
Carino kicked out with authority on that one. He was not going down on that one. And so we get BJ actually gets hit with the package pile driver by Carino.
After they trade forearms for like at least 45 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, where they grab each other
face.
and they just like keep just punching each other in the face. It was just super intense. So BJ kicks out of the package pile driver. both guys on their knees. They're just staring each other down, totally intense. The lights go
double
out.
crimson match.
Yeah, the lights go out, and it gets real quiet, and everyone's like, "Okay, what in the world is going on?"
Yeah, I kudos to whatever arena they're in, because when the lights go out in that place, it legitimately goes pitch black.
Yeah, you get like two like small like screens that are like towards the front where the stage is. That's about it. Everything else just goes out.
Yeah, so you can't see shit.
Yeah, so lights go out for a few seconds. You're wondering what the hell's going on. Lights come back up, and the oddest person I could think of being in the ring, Kevin Sullivan is in the ring. The crowd's losing his mind. Kevin Kelly's losing his mind, and he's got a golden railroad spike in his hand. He looks at BJ Whitmer. BJ then smiles. He turns to Carino, stabs Carino in the forehead. BJ Whitmer pins and defeats Steve Carino in the unsanctioned fight without honor.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trip because, I mean, you were in attendance at the local show that we had Kevin Sullivan at. I recently met Kevin Sullivan at this show about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks ago, something like that.
And to see him make his Ring of Honor TV debut appearance, interesting. Kevin Kelly kept saying it was tied into something that BJ and Carino kept saying, that they were going to a dark place.
Yeah, it was both of them kept calling each other. It was the evil in both of them that brought Kevin Sullivan.
It was the manifestation of their hatred.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you think about it, someone who has a history of that style, Kevin Sullivan would be a good choice.
Yeah.
Of somebody who could embody malice.
Yeah. So I'm very interested to see what direction this goes. If Kevin Sullivan is going to continue to be involved in this storyline, what's next for Steve Carino as far as Ring of Honor is concerned? Because he's not going back to commentary. He's not allowed to. He's either a wrestler or he's not there. Those are his options at this point. So very interesting.
I wouldn't mind seeing him start a tag team with Colby.
That'd be cool. Yeah, Colby's all bleached blonde now too. So we'll have to wait and see. We go to another title match as Dalton Castle gets his TV title match against Bobby Fish. Both of these guys, very good friends, looking for some friendly competition in the ring. Good chemistry between these two. They work really well together. A very intense fight too. They fought a lot on the outside.
Yeah, I was gonna say they weren't afraid to go full force and actually throw each other around really hard, because I know Dalton suplexed Bobby Fish over the guardrail onto a handful of security guards.
Yeah, and then
jumped and
rolled over one of the security guards' head. I felt really bad for that guy.
He totally got squished.
Yeah.
But the boys were there to try and fan him.
Yeah, they were fanning everybody. The boys were working double time in this match.
Yeah.
So eventually we get
fan up,
Fan up. So we get them. They get to about an 18 count and get back in the ring right as the referee hits 19. So barely beating the count. Dalton Castle tries to go for Bangarang, and Bobby Fish is able to turn it into a rolling prawn hold and pin Dalton Castle to retain the ROH TV title.
Yeah. Good match.
Yeah, very good match. Then we had, before our main event, which is the rematch 1 year in the making, we had the Cabinet, they're now calling themselves, this being them trying to make wrestling great again. We had the All Night Express, Rhett Titus and Kenny King, along with the Minister of Information, Caprice Coleman, and a few other people up there with. It was a little presidential rally.
A little rally
kind of looking thing.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah, Caprice Coleman had no idea what he was talking about.
Yeah, he kept stumbling over his words and saying wrong dates and stuff, having to correct himself.
Rhett Titus is the Secretary of Shoulders.
That was to me, that was that phrase, just Secretary of Shoulders, was the most entertaining part of the whole thing.
And Kenny King is the Champion of Championships. So, not sure how that works. But they plan on making wrestling great again. They plan on making real wrestlers happen again. And they plan on winning championships altogether. Then we had our rematch from last year's Best in the World, the title for title match. Now it's just one title, two guys looking to prove each other wrong.
J&J Security.
Yep. No. Jay Lethal defending against Jay Briscoe.
Versus Jay Diesel.
No.
Versus Jay Noble.
And Jay Uso. And
yeah.
And no.
And double J, Jeff Jarrett.
J-E-double-F. No. Jay Lethal versus Jay Briscoe. These two have just one of the best feuds they possibly could. They leave it all out there when they face each other.
Yeah. What's awesome is just you knew based on last year's Best in the World main event that this was going to be just really rad.
Yes.
What I liked about this one is this match was a lot more wrestling based.
Yep.
Because there wasn't the high level of animosity as there was at Best in the World when they were taking cheap shots at each other all the time. You know, Jay Lethal taking cheap shots at Papa Briscoe verbally.
Yep.
And like they're always interfering in each other's matches. So, like that was very personal. Whereas this was just like Jay Briscoe trying to regain the championship.
Yes.
So it's very much more wrestling oriented than the fight feel that the other one had.
Briscoe really just trying to prove that what happened last year at Best in the World was just a bad night for him. He was looking to take the title back. He even had a promo going in saying that, you know, he didn't ask for his rematch right away because he let Jay Lethal have his moment. He let Jay Lethal enjoy the extra bonus in his paycheck so he could, you know, eat some nice food. But he told him he was going back to ramen because he was taking that title back. And Jay Lethal's like, no, you know, sure, you can say that you didn't ask for your rematch, but I've been proving why I'm the champion. And so there was still some animosity, but there was a lot more respect out of what happened last year. So they went balls to the wall in this match, and it was like Taylor Hendricks even got super into it, and she ended up getting ejected, and she was throwing shit around. She got into a fight with Mandy Leon on the outside, and she got escorted to the back.
I think Nigel actually left the commentary table for a moment to help the security usher her.
Spilling water all over.
She spat on Jay Briscoe.
No, she was not having it. She was very upset. But yeah, no, these two just two top-notch athletes in wrestling. Jay Lethal is damn near perfection in the ring. Jay Briscoe has a great combination of athleticism and just brutality in his arsenal.
And this is one of those matches that you call a best of match.
Yeah.
Because all these guys hit all their signature spots.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Both of them got their shit in. Both of them had their moments. Jay Briscoe even hitting the lethal injection and the Jay Driller.
Yeah, this was a callback to Best in the World last year because Jay Lethal beat Jay Briscoe by hitting the Jay Driller, then the lethal injection.
Yeah.
So he hit Jay's finisher and then hit his own finisher to win the championship.
So then Briscoe hit Lethal's finisher, then his own finisher. Lethal still kicked out, and Briscoe's losing it at this point. They end up fighting up to the top rope. There's a table on either side.
Jay Briscoe told the timekeeper to move away from the table on that side.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly and Nigel.
It looked like he was going to try and suplex him through that table.
Yeah, and Kevin Kelly and Nigel end up moving away from their table because Jay Lethal can easily take Jay Briscoe back that way. But eventually, Jay Lethal hits... What
I call it a Hamachan cutter. It's just a super cutter off the ropes.
Off the top rope. Followed up with a lethal injection. Jay Lethal remains the ROH World Champion.
Congratulations.
And a very respectful code of honor at the end. These two, they have their issues, but they're very respectful to one another.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit of kinship, a little bit of camaraderie over the fact that they recently had to align to face the Bullet Club.
Last week on ROH. It was them along with Mark and Roddy taking on Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and the Guerrillas of Destiny.
Yeah, so I mean, we've been having the Bullet Club kind of running roughshod over a lot of the people.
Bullet Club's making a lot of enemies.
Yeah, and so, it's common enemies make friends.
Indeed. So that is it for Ring of Honor that you want to listen to. If you plan on watching Ring of Honor this coming Wednesday on Comet, you want to skip to the time down below. We already mentioned what it is, so if you don't want any further spoilers, you better already click there, because here we go.
It's Women of Honor!
Yes. So, pretty much almost every lady that he talked about at Shimmer was on Women of Honor this week, especially in our first match where Amber Gallows, Veda Scott, and Allison Kay defeated Thunder Kitty, Sumi Sakai, and Crazy Mary Dobson after a trio of finishers from each of the heel ladies on Dobson secures the win for them. Dobson was on fire in this match.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying this is going to be the standout year for Mary Dobson. She's been on NXT a few times.
Yeah.
She's making big waves in a lot of different places.
Yeah, good for her.
Good performances everywhere.
I like the way she. I like the way she works. It's good.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping for more. Then in the second match, we had Shay Jackson making her apparently pro wrestling debut.
Yeah, because she's a student from the Ring of Honor dojo.
Yeah, she took on ODB, who defeated her with what she calls the Dirty Dozen, which is her sitting on the top rope and smashing the other woman's face into the turnbuckle and or her crotch.
I call it Coochie Karate.
I think you call it the Coochie Crusher at one point. I don't remember. Anyway, then she hit a second rope Fez press for the win, which was a very interesting move to see end the match.
Well, to validate that finish, Jackson is a fairly large lady.
Yeah, she's a thick black lady.
ODB also fairly big, fairly well built.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where she had to use basically all of her weight to pin down the upper body of Shay Jackson.
Yeah. Alright, I'll take it. Then we had one of my favorite ladies on the independent scene, Hanaya the Howling Huntress, taking on Mandy Leon. These ladies fucking killed it.
Yeah.
I like this match a lot. Both of them having just, this is the best match we've seen Mandy Leon in.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was on her game.
She's another trainee of the Ring of Honor dojo.
Yeah, and originally matches we've seen, she hasn't been quite as impressive, but her and Hanaya had a fantastic match. Both of them had just doing moves that I didn't expect Mandy Leon to do.
Yeah. Just
based on what I had seen her do before, but Hanaya does pick up the win with a move she calls the Eclipse, which is a code breaker. Or a, whatever you want to call it. It's lung blower. I guess it's to the head, so it's not really a lung blower. But, Hanaya picking up the win. I look forward to seeing more between these ladies, because it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then in the main event...
And Mandy Leon's a little prone to potentially having wardrobe malfunction.
As soon as she got pinned, her whole left boob was trying to escape. It happened. Yeah, it was almost out.
It's terrifying. For her, maybe. I don't know. She might be okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
It'd be publicity either way.
Yeah. Then in the main event, we had Kelly Klein defeat Taylor Hendricks. Kelly Klein, the Lady of the Decade, versus the Lady of the House of Truth. So a couple of...
Yeah. Lady Decade versus the Queen of Truth.
Yes. A good match between these two. This is one of the better Taylor Hendricks matches.
Yeah, I was saying that while we were watching it, that it was one of the better Taylor Hendricks matches I've seen.
Yeah.
She's been wrestling for 8 years. Or
9 years.
9 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, as a lot of the times, I feel like she doesn't wrestle with like somebody with that much experience.
Right.
But this time, she was really on point.
Yeah. And it was good to see, the fact that, the dojo is really paying off for her. Kelly Klein is a great in-ring talent.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
As far as Women of Honor matches are concerned.
Yeah. And BJ Whitmer, will talk up and down about how great she is, and she just keeps proving it. So she ends up winning with a DDT on her knee, and then rolling into a seated front face lock, making Taylor Hendricks tap out. Taylor Hendricks actually having part of her ring attire snap.
Yeah, the shoulder strap.
When she did a tombstone to Kelly Klein. A great showing for all these ladies in Women of Honor. I
want to see more.
I do too.
I want more Women of Honor specials.
I do too. But that is it.
Not just because they're pretty.
No.
But because I'm a huge advocate of female wrestling.
Exactly. As evident by 75% of our results we just talked about.
There's only two shows that were dude shows.
Yeah.
And even one of those had a woman match on it.
Yep. With Taylor Hendricks. So, that is it for Ring of Honor. That is it for results.
How about some news?
Some news. We got one real quick news story. We'll get that one out of the way. The beef that was created from
via Twitter.
Yeah,
via the Twitter machine.
Stemming from the match between Ricochet and Will Ospreay in the Best of the Super Juniors. Vader was one of the most outspoken guys against the match.
I would say, as far as against the match, he was probably the most.
He was the first one to immediately jump on and say, "Oh, this is ruining wrestling. This is this isn't what wrestling's supposed to be. That was just them out there doing flips and blah blah blah." Well,
they were just dancing.
Well, now this has become a reality.
Yeah, because Will Ospreay stood up for the match,
yeah.
And him and Vader exchanged some very heated tweets back and forth.
Yeah.
And this is leading to them actually having a one-on-one match.
August 12th in Revolution Pro Wrestling, we will have Vader versus Will Ospreay.
In one of the weirdest mix and match style matches of the century.
You don't get much. I mean, I think the only way you get much more mismatch wrestling is if Vader is replaced by the Great Khali.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't get much more different than Will Ospreay versus Vader. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
Yeah.
But then in a much more interesting and unfortunate story for Ring of Honor, the TV tapings that happened this past weekend on Saturday, look forward to those tapings because it will be one of the last times for a while at least that you'll see Roderick Strong in Ring of Honor as he has decided not to renew his contract. He's been there since 2003, I think. So, 13 years in one promotion.
Yeah, and I know for this recent portion of his Ring of Honor tenure, he's been under the exclusive Ring of Honor contract.
Yeah.
Which only a handful of people are under the exclusive Ring of Honor contract. I think it's the Briscoes, the Bucks, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and maybe one or two other people, Jay Lethal. Mm-hmm. But basically, this contract means that they can only wrestle for promotions approved by Ring of Honor.
And the only two, it's New Japan and PWG. So, so he is stepping away from Ring of Honor.
Because I can totally understand it, because other than the fact that, now is the time that all the big indie guys are going to WWE, that's probably something that's on the table for Roderick Strong.
He's been a guy that WWE's had on their radar for a very long time, and so why not go now when you've got people like Eric Young and Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura and Austin Aries down and Samoa Joe down in NXT. Roderick Strong would fit with that group of guys perfectly because he's wrestled pretty much all of them.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you also have the idea that being somebody who a company wants under an exclusive deal is kind of cool, because it makes you feel like you're sought after, but at the same time, you have to feel like there's a lot of other opportunities you're missing out on, because there are a lot of other awesome independent wrestlers that Roderick Strong doesn't get to wrestle because they're not Ring of Honor or New Japan affiliated wrestlers.
Yeah.
So that opens up a broader spectrum for him to show up at shows like AIW or a Rev Pro show in the UK, stuff like that. It opens the horizons.
Yeah, so check the ROH Wrestling link down in the description. You can see an entire blog that Roddy wrote about his departure from Ring of Honor. Look forward to his matches coming up in the next couple weeks of the TV tapings, and we'll keep you updated on where Roderick Strong is going post Ring of Honor. So let's move on to, we've only got one of these. You ready?
Yeah.
It's time for upcoming shows. What do we have, Kevin Hawk?
On the 1st of July,
That's next month.
over in the UK. Oh, the UK.
Yeah.
The UK. This is written down. Over in the UK, we're going to have a show from our newest picked up promotion on our list, Attack Pro Wrestling.
Indeed.
They present Rafflemania 2 Stripwrecked.
These are some fantastic names.
I love you because they also have Club 100 coming up in July and the I'm Glad It's Not Winter Slam. Or Thank God It's Not Winter Slam in August. But there's only 2 matches announced so far for this, but they're fairly high-profile matches for the show because we have a 6-man tag match and where a team called #CCK teams up with the Wild Boar, and they're going to be taking on Eddie Dennis and the Brothers of Construction. And then, like on the last Attack Pro show that we had 2 opening round matches for the Attack Pro Championship tournament.
Right.
We're going to have one more, and they're bringing in Zack Sabre Jr., and he's going to be the first round match against the Ginger Jesus, Mike Bird.
All right. Well, last time we did an Attack Pro, we had no matches announced.
Yeah.
So
This is better.
So now you got 2. You got 2 to look forward to. We'll have all the results next week on Indie News. But that is it for this week. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe.
And click every single link that is down in the description.
Click them all. Half of them, that's us.
Yeah.
That's all the stuff you have on all the other videos. That's our social media platforms. That's the podcast version of all our review videos over at SoundCloud, and our email addresses if you want to contact us on a more personal level than just sending us a Facebook message or a YouTube comment.
But the most important links down in the description are the ones at the top. That's why they're at the top, because they are the links to all the people that we talk about on the regular in the Indie News.
Yeah, we got links to as many of the websites that we can scrounge together, like JakaraPro.com,
ROHWrestling.com,
AIWrestling.com,
LookMonoFans.com,
and tons more, including the guys we just talked about, attackpro.co.uk.
Yes, and the reason they are on that list is because Jamie suggested that we should start talking about them because they're one of her favorite promotions. If you have a favorite promotion, if you have a local promotion that you want us to talk about, comment down in the description. Follow us on any of those social media links. Send us websites, send us YouTube pages, send us Twitters, Facebooks, any type of information that we can find out about your favorite promotion.
Your favorite promotion or your local promotion. If you want your local boys to get their names out, I mean, not saying that we're a huge platform for somebody to get their name out, but the 2 of us.
Any promotion is good promotion.
Yeah, the 2 of us talking about it on here is 2 more people than there were talking about it last week.
Exactly. So yeah, if we find an interest in what they've got going on, if we like what they got going on, we will talk about them, add them to our list, and we'll give you a shout out, letting anyone know that you're the reason that we're talking about it.
Yeah, and don't forget to check out the playlist.
All the videos up in the playlist, usual reviews plus our Money in the Bank review from last Sunday's pay-per-view event. Look forward to episode 107, where we'll have all of our usual reviews. We'll have that result for you next week. Well, that'll be one of 2 results that we'll have next week on the Indie News. Also, I think we might be having our June top 5 coming up pretty soon. This will be Kevin Hawk's first time doing the top 5. Look forward to that. And we're getting into a new month. We're getting closer to Battleground for WWE. We're on the road to some interesting stuff. It's the summertime. Brand split. Cruiserweight Classic. We're going to have a Cruiserweight Classic update coming up this week too.
We might even make Cruiserweight Classic videos.
That might be its own
because
video.
It's a standalone entity in WWE right now, and it sounds like it's going to be just the most phenomenal thing they've done in a while.
We're excited. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Yeah.